Hello and welcome back to How to Connect with Humans. This is episode 8 of series 4. Hello Wayne, how are you?
Hello, how are you?
I'm really good.
Good.
We are in great company.
Oh, absolutely.
More company than we usually have.
Yep.
Yes, it's big, but it's simple.
Absolutely.
And they're lovely. They're amazing. So we are presenting for the first time a new project that when we have Liliana Bellini here, at the end of her episode, she couldn't just hold it.
She couldn't contain
she
herself.
couldn't contain herself. She was so excited. It was like, and we were about to do blah. And we're like, okay, should we keep it? Should we like? So I think it was only the people that were live in the episode that knew what's going on. But now, after a few months, the big simple, which is what we're having this evening with Susan Marmot and Louise Scott and Liliana Bellini, is coming to take form, and it's a wonderful project to help young adults and people that are in the system, us in the care system and in the foster care system, and to help them with their mental well-being and live a more lovely and fulfilled life. Or that's what I understood. Hope I'm right. Hello, ladies. How are you? It's a pleasure to have you here. We're so excited. Thank you so much.
It's funny when there's three of you, because normally you go, well, thank you very much, but like, you don't know who's going to say, well, thank you very much. But we're very happy to be here, and thank you for inviting us.
So would you like to tell us a little bit of what you've done before and how this came to happen and what it is? So if you start with like telling us a little bit about each one of you.
Off you go. Shall I go first? I'll go first.
Yeah. Hello.
Hi. So I'm Lou. I'm Louise Scott. For the last 22 years, I'm a criminal defence solicitor. So that's kind of my profession. And I came across the principles about 5 years ago. And through that met Liliana, and then became interested in what was happening with Beyond Recovery and the prison work, which seemed a sort of natural thing because I work with those guys all the time. And I could see how incredibly profound the impact was on them of learning this understanding. So I was just blown away when I saw what was happening in the prison. And kind of it went from there in terms of my trained at One Thought, where I met Susan. We kind of, the big simple was really born out of the space that lockdown allowed us. I was furloughed from work, which was just an incredible gift, really. So, and things went on from there. But I'll pass over to Susan to introduce herself, and then we'll talk about the project.
Okay. So my name's Susan, Susan Marmot, and I've been around this understanding since around 2013. Before that, I was a homeopath. So working with natural health, and it profoundly affected me and changed my life. And ever since then, I've been working with the principles. I also worked in the prison project Beyond Recovery, and now I help Caroline, who's on this call just here, with Slice of Happiness, delivering programs to people who are affected by homelessness and people who are suffering with their mental health. I just absolutely love delivering. It's an amazing thing to be able to do and to see people come out of their suffering and just wake up to who they really are. And it really is a gift to do this work and this job. So that's a little bit about who I am. I do a few other things. I do Relationship Ready, which is a program also sharing the principles around dating. And I can't think what else I do, but that'll do for now.
And okay, I'm Liliana Bellini, and I'm Italian. I've been in this country for 33 years, so actually I don't know where I am anymore. But I have a background also in natural complementary health. I was a homeopath for 15 years. I met Susan when we were training as homeopaths. And we worked together, we shared a lot of work, a lot of jokes, laughters and tears. And then I also came across the 3 principles, and it also impacted me deeply. You know, after many years of searching for different things and training in many different things, this just made me kind of just chill and find a peace of mind that I actually didn't think was possible. So, of course, as many of us do, when we find something good, we want to share it. And then my passion is to share. People wouldn't have this if you know, they can't afford it. So I'm passionate about that. So I also worked in prisons. I delivered programs for 4.5 years for Beyond Recovery. And that was a very profound, beautiful work. And then I also work and deliver for Caroline, Slice of Happiness. And we are on our 2nd online program funded by the NHS. And it's going really well. It's beautiful work, and you know, it's incredible what we're seeing. So it's all beautiful work, and I'm very happy and blessed to be doing it. And it's something I just want to share. It's brief, but it's like it's just so fresh for me. So I set off with the complementary medicine and all that because I was coming from a place of fear. I wanted to prevent. I didn't want suffering for my loved ones. That was the first thing. And then things were good, you know, and then they were helping. But I was still focusing on the suffering bit. And like literally yesterday, I thought, my God, I haven't been suffering on focusing on that. I mean, my work and our work is to focus on the incredible, beautiful, healthy, you know, side of people, not that. So I just realized that. That's why I'm sharing it right now, because I always tell the story of how, because of someone dying, taking his own life in prison, close to us, my family, that's why I got into this. But it's not true. I got into it. That was only at the beginning. Now it's been since the 3 principles, it's been about how healthy people are. So I just realized that I had to share it. So we just want to look in the direction of that amazing, beautiful, potential, peaceful, you know, deeper place in people. So, and it's wonderful to be here tonight. And we're very grateful that this space is available to us to come and share and bring this new thing, which has grown very dear to us and has a lot of meaning. So I almost wanted to have a bottle and pop it and, you know, cheer, because it is the launch. Today is the launch. We've gone live just a couple of hours ago. So.
I really like what you said there about looking at the health and what you saw about that and the change and the difference. And it's such a lovely feeling that, because it's always it's always been about suffering, the search before, hasn't it? The journey, the search. And I was, we've got a new participant starting on our Slice of Happiness program tomorrow, and she was asking what she needed to share about her past experience, and I said, look, anything, it doesn't matter. It's such a rare thing for people to even hear that. Like, well, doesn't everyone need to know my whole story, and doesn't everyone need to know my history or my diagnoses or what? It's like, no, we don't. And that's such, how rare is that in this world, that people can share it, of course, and will listen and with compassion to their story, but it's not, we don't need to know that in order to share something that, and we know that whatever's happened, there isn't anything that we can hear that would be troublesome in the sense that we feel like we can't help you, which is just such an unusual and rare thing, isn't it? People are so used to sort of introducing themselves with their history.
That's right.
So you were in lockdown, and something awakened you to an idea. I don't know who was it. I don't know who had it. I don't know who started it, and which has us today talking about this. So how did it all start?
That's a good question, and I wish I could remember. I don't know if you guys can remember specifically what happened. I think we just started having conversations, and I don't know, for me, I think there was always something around wanting to do something in the community. As Liliana said before, about my passion is definitely to work with with people who wouldn't be able to afford it necessarily. So in my work professionally, you know, I'm very I just do legal aid work, so that's kind of where my passion is. It's very much for people who wouldn't otherwise come across this understanding, is to kind of make it more accessible. And I think for me as well, so many of my clients have come through the care system, so many, and the statistics bear it out, but just in my personal experience, that's the case. So there was always that sort of desire to, you know, wouldn't it be wonderful to be able to offer, you know, people who've had a really tough start, or for, you know, just to be able to offer that to them. So I think that's how it kind of started for me. And I think it was just a series of conversations. It was kind of a really different way for me to go about anything, actually. And I think a lot of that is down to being with Susan and Liliana. Normally I'm sort of quite outcome driven, and I decide I want to do something and I go for it. And this has been totally different and really sort of unfolding and gentle, and really just an incredible process that we've sort of gone through from start to finish. It's been lovely. And yeah, that's kind of, we just started having conversations and then thinking of people that had set up social enterprises or charities. We weren't sure which way we wanted to go. And it was just lovely the way things came through. We had some great conversations with people with experience. So that was just really kind of gentle to see, you know, what might come through. And like, I think I said, you know, just so un-outcome driven, just so, just a really nice way to spend an afternoon in lockdown, really, having a Zoom with somebody and listening to their experiences. And we just sort of went like that. I think it's just sort of unfolded. I don't know if anybody else wants to sort of say anything about their recollections of the start, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I love how you described it. It's I love how you know, even your voice is so gentle. It just took me back to that feeling of that. See, the first lockdown for me was such a it was about contemplation and stillness, you know, and you know, the way we went about it, it was, had, for me anyway, had that same feeling of like space and just like with an open mind and a feeling in my heart that there's something there I can give, we can give and we can create together. But there was no rush or no, you know, edge to it. It was just a beautiful space, and it's continued like that. And when we meet now we're doing also, there is something else coming, which is from the same space. There's this it just occurred to us that it would be great to create a curriculum. So that's what we've been doing, and we have time set aside to do that weekly. And same feeling again, you know, taking into this other bit of the big simple. So it's just beautiful because it feels like it's like a grounding of that feeling that's has kind of taken us to the prison work, to community work, and it has our own ourselves in it as well. You know, it's it feels really special, and it's like you know, to get together weekly and learn from each other, and listen to each other and create from that space. So yeah, it feels like a gift in a way. I said it in the post on Facebook, so it really does. And let's hear what Susan, what is your experience been of it?
Well, it's funny hearing, because it's like I haven't really kind of thought about this year like that, going back to, oh, hang on, God, in March, it was a year ago, right? Everyone's talking about it, but I haven't really thought about it like that. And, you know, we went from being quite busy deliverers of programs to suddenly not delivering anything. I was doing one program that turned virtual, but other than that, the work stopped, and it was an opportunity to just have the space to think about what is it I want to be doing, where do I want to be putting my energies. And I didn't really know the answer, but just kind of enjoyed that time and space, and also that sunshine that we had back there in those days, and just kind of you know, contemplating that. And then when we started having conversations, we didn't quite know what it was going to look like, what it was going to be called, who we were going to be helping, but we knew we wanted to work together, or I certainly knew that I wanted to work with them. And I've loved working with two other women, and it's been a really collaborative space, which has not only been fun and enjoyable, and we have laughed a lot, and that's brilliant, but it feels very supportive, and it's been, it really has been a treat. It really has been a treat, which I don't know if that's how other people describe starting a business. I haven't started a business before. Well, I have, I suppose, when I was a homeopath, but I was on my own, wasn't I? I love being collaborative, and it's brilliant having Lily and Lou as partners, and you know, and having this gift of time to take our time. Is really, really, we're very blessed in that way.
So to put it in perspective for people that may watch this later, we are in the UK, and it's March 2021. So it's been, as you were saying, a year since the first announcement of lockdown and quarantines, and we're still in lockdown at the moment. And one of the things that happens was that anybody going into the prisons to work, now they haven't been able to go in. And so people in the prisons were just sort of not having the support. And it's lovely to have Caroline Power here, because obviously people on the street were still on the street that were homeless, but then the government probably started realizing what a big threat it was to people getting contagious. And I don't know, but we're going to have Caroline to come and talk about all her projects and her experience. And but the great thing is that other people will describe your jobs as some of the most difficult things to do, or the most difficult people to deal with, or probably very frustrating to suddenly have been able to get into working with all these people and then suddenly having to be inside and not being able to do things. But actually you bubble up into this beautiful project, which none of you look like you've been, it's been so hard, and none of you are like holding your hair on this pain of how hard this has been. It seems like you're just having a beautiful time together, to take care of when we had the people from Beyond Recovery and Beyond Truth in the series. What's very obvious is that, well, what about finding people before they go into the prison system, before they go onto the streets, I guess, before they go into that breakdown. And you guys being you and being so caring and loving, it seems this is where you're heading now. Your website was live a few hours ago, and all your social media gone up today. I'm really touched. I'm very moved. And so how's it going to work? What's the idea? I know it's all very fresh and new, and and this is good to know for other people. You don't have to start a project with everything sorted out. So how is it going to move along, you think? What's the next step?
So we seem to be going in an order, but I think that the truth of that is that we don't know. I mean, we don't know necessarily how everything's going to unfold. We know, I mean, there was a couple of times along the way with the lockdown when I started to sort of feel a bit frustrated. It's like we had some things set up to start a group, and then the November lockdown started, and that sort of, I don't know exactly when we'll be able to start, but we had connection bad.
Yeah. Went a bit.
Sorry, I don't know where I could hear myself, but everybody else was frozen. So I'm not sure where I got to with that.
Say all again.
Okay. So what I think I was saying, there were some bits where just before the November lockdown or the December lockdown happened, we were kind of poised to start a group, and that obviously couldn't take place because we're very keen that we start off live. I mean, there's definitely benefit to Zoom groups, but we feel we want to start live. So it's kind of been a little bit, at times I felt, slightly frustrated by that, but not for very long, just because what we are doing in the time that we have and the space that we have seems so relevant and so helpful to when we do eventually start. So I don't know when we don't know when that will be, but it's amazing how many people have sort of come up for all of us to think, oh well, this person and that person, connections that we've been able to make, and the conversations we've been able to have, and the interest that we've been shown, and it's just lovely that, the only thing I could say that I do know is that I know it's going to unfold, and I know what we offer can be really helpful. But short of that, I don't know exactly what that's going to look like. So, but yeah, what we want to do is run groups and do it that way live. So yeah.
As I'm kind of reflecting on this, I really love how I've been seeing other people set up social enterprises and charities, like Jacqueline Holler's. We were there watching and being part of that, and then Caroline. Again, we were there from the beginning, watching the unfolding. So I love how everybody does it differently. Like like for instance, Caroline is like amazing at reaching out into the community and making links and having conversations, and literally she's a force of nature. And sometimes I'm like, I'm exhausted just watching her, but that's her style, and she gets things done. But I know that we can all, because of where we come from, not nationality wise, but where we're coming from in terms of what we want to give, and where that comes from the heart, then we all find the way to do it in a way that it's right for us. And I've seen it a few times now. When I look in the community, the 3P community, I can see people do it their own way. So there's no point trying to do it like her way or his way. We kind of we have this trust that with the way we've been doing it, and our love and the desire to offer something that actually kind of works, and we know it does, that's going to guide us, and it has done so far. So I think it's an important thing to put out there, because otherwise we start comparing ourselves and we start thinking, oh, I don't know enough, I'm not grounded enough in my style, and I have an accent, and what they do that and with Brexit I'm in England, whatever, It's like no, it really feels like everyone who comes from that place and has had a little bit of an insight on the truth of what we teach, then you find your way. So that's how it feels, doesn't it, Goals? What do you think?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think you can get a bit insecure if you start to look up at how other people do it and just think maybe we're just naive and we just, but then I don't think anyone knows it. It's like, what I've seen about my life in other areas is like when I get out the way, it goes really well and things come to me in the space. And so why should this be any different? Like, why would I make up a new rule for this? It's like, it doesn't feel right to do that. It doesn't make sense for me to do that. It's not what I've done in the areas of my life that have gone really well for me. So, for example, hi, Omar.
Hi, Omar.
Nice to see you.
Yes. Family vibe.
Yeah. Family arrive.
Yeah, so you made me lose my place. Yeah, so we're just sort of saying how our business is unfolding, but we're not really in the driving seat, and we think that that's a good thing. Yeah, so it's like, you know, I think that I never had an urge years and years ago that I never knew I was ever going to work in a prison. I had no idea. It's not like I even had that thought ever that, oh, well, you know, one day can I work in a prison? Never. And then one day I was putting my hand up and volunteering to do that. And then I spent 5 years doing that. I mean, I never knew I was going to be working with people affected by homelessness, but there I am doing that. I didn't know any of the things that have been happening to me of late, but here I am. Here we are with our business, the three of us. It's like amazing. So I don't know what it's going to look like or how it's going to happen, but if we get out the way, hopefully things will come in that space, and we are ready to show up and deliver and to respond to that. And that's sort of how I've been doing my life of late anyway. Like, people say, can you do this? And I say yes.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I think it's you were just saying this earlier about how it's like we don't have to be an expert in the care system. Like, I didn't have to be an expert in the prison system or with an expert on homelessness to be able to teach something that's universal, because it applies the same to everybody.
Yeah, I love what you're saying, and then there are brothers and sisters in the community we can reach out to. That's the beauty of it as well. Like, we've been working with amazing people, and like and each one of them has a gift that is like, whoa, you know, tell me about that more. Tell me about your gift. Come and share it. Or and that's the beauty of it, the collaboration and the you know, and the sense of community that there is around is beautiful. So I know I can go to Caroline and ask her about how to
Right, no.
Yes, you Derek.
to put stuff on
Right, Murray. Leave him alone, Luna.
Ooh, Derek.
Hey, Derek.
So there is that. And also so true, because what you just said, Susan, about being qualified, you know, because I remember like 20 years ago, I was in Wandsworth prison, and I'd raised money, and I opened up a day center where, you know, young men could go and be creative. And to raise that money, I did so many things. I mean, I ran marathon, I did car boot sales, I did all sorts of things. And then when I went to, because someone dear to my family took his own life on that wing. So I thought, that's my way, you know, let's open up something. And then I went to the inauguration, and I saw this bunch of guys with so much, they had such spark and so much to give, and I could see that. And I thought, wow. But then I thought, I wanted to do more, but I thought that was it. What else can I do? You know, what else do I have that actually could be helpful to these guys, to these people, you know? And that was 20 years ago. And when I came across 3 principles, at some point it hit me. I thought, you don't actually need anything but just a little bit of understanding and love. And then you can do that. So everything that I thought I needed fell away, and I was left with what's always been there, you know. And not only I could see it for myself, but I could see it for the people we wanted to help. So, and it's true, that's an important thing, that if you are listening, you don't think you have enough to make a difference, think again or stop thinking.
One of them will work.
Yeah, and I think it stopped us all like for a second when Omar Wilson came in, and then Derek. They've been here on the series, and there's something about the presence that is just saying that, just seeing the change, just seeing the impossible being done. You've been with them when Mama J is coming in. You've seen the transformation. Some of them you met them really young in prison, and you've seen them transform. So you've done this already, really. But what we also wanted to share with this, and we're so excited when we hear you are doing this, is that just start doing something. It doesn't matter, you know, then it takes a life of its own. It's what you're saying is right. It will take you just be on the passenger seat, and it will drive itself to destination. You don't know how that's going to pan out. It was the same with us. One day we just decided, oh, let's start one talk, and that one talk turned into now 4 series, and we're thinking about the 5th one, and that's where we're going. So, but because you very kindly invited Wayne to share with you some of his experience, and so what he had to say is going to be on your website, which is really moving. So you've been in foster care and you've been through the system. What would happen? So if you could go and see Wayne at 16, 17, and the big symbol will come, and do you think you will listen?
I think when I was in care, I was much younger, and I think I had a lot of anger in me, because at that point I kind of felt it was because of me, because of something I'd done. And I think I said to you, Lily, in an email, that if I knew this, it could all just fall away. And I remember I said something along the lines in the email to you, that when I was in care, I felt alone. And actually, the people that I had around me actually loved me enough to take me in. Mm-hmm. And it was only when I was writing that to you that I actually saw that. Mm. And for me, it was just like, wow. I've gone through all these years kind of feeling like, oh, well, they had to have me because nobody else wanted me. Yet for me, seeing that yesterday was incredible.
Wow.
And it's incredible to kind of just reflect on the journey that I had in care, and kind of just reflect on me going back in time and saying to Wayne then, look, it's okay. It will be okay. I don't know in what way it will be okay, but it will be. And I've always said to Carolina that if I didn't have a disability, I wouldn't be who I am. So to have the disability, but also to have the experiences I've had, not just because of my disability, has made me who I am. So would I change any of it? No. And I don't understand, you know, when people say to me, oh, well, I if I could change anything, I would. Would you? I mean, I wouldn't. It's so it's so kind of freeing to kind of see that and to hear that, you know. And I just wouldn't change anything about me, because I am who I am. I'm perfect who I am.
That's beautiful, Wayne. And sorry, I was probing you to kind of.
No.
But I'm glad to hear that it gives you a chance to reflect and maybe see something more about how, you know, how this can help, you know, young people like yourself, like you were, but also to have your more insight on how this, you know, what seeing the truth in this has helped you to see how just perfect, you know, you are, and you've always been.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. It's and thank you for willing to, you know, come along and to be part of that.
Thank you.
And it's so powerful what you said about how, you know, when you were there and you felt like it was something you'd done or it was your fault. And, you know, one thing's for sure, you wouldn't have been the only person feeling that and care. And it's going to be so powerful when you hopefully come and share your story with other people about that. Really help them to hear from somebody who's been there, who's been in that situation. Like it was so powerful when, you know, we were working in prison. And welcome, Jacqueline, lovely to see
Hi,
you.
Lovely.
It was also so powerful when, you know, it was good when we were talking, but if we brought in guys who'd been in their situation before, then they really listened to that. So yeah, hopefully at some point when we're up and running, we'd love to have you along whenever you were free.
I love what you said about how it came to you that the people around you were kind of were loving you, and that possibly what I heard was that possibly you weren't seeing that then. You were kind of stuck in your own, what was going on for you, but that was still that was happening. That was the you know, that was. I love that there's always that looking in that space and knowing that was that they were loving you. That really touched me. Thanks for sharing that, Wayne.
Beautiful.
Would you like to hear why we're called the Big Simple? Oh, we got a question. A hand up.
Yes. That's where I wanted to go. Oh, sorry, there's a hand up. Sorry.
Yes.
No. Tell us about the Big Simple, and then we let Omar ask or share. Or...
Hello, Omar.
Omar,
tell us about the Big Simple first, and then.
No. Let's hear what Omar has to say. Then we.
Okay, let's hear what Omar. Well, we need to unpin you, so give us a moment.
Oh, I see. Okay.
There we go. And we need to unmute people. So
okay.
Sorry, I sound a bit bossy.
Omar.
Hey. Now, do you know what? It's been a long time since I've heard you ladies' voice. Now, just the voice alone, it just takes me back to that love. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, what I really want to say is, what you lot have inside you already, right? Even though it's great to hear something from somebody that's been in the same road as you, the same journey, but look what you guys did for us. Do you know what I mean? What you guys did for us, look. Not knowing anything about selling drugs, not knowing anything about crime, not knowing anything about prison. All you came in there with was pure-hearted openness and love. And it's evident because it's still in me now. I still feel it now. Do you know what I mean? And we ain't seen each other for a long time, and I ain't even spoke to you lot, and I can still feel the love. Do you know what I mean? I can feel it because you lot came with that pure love. So it's like, I know wherever you lot place that love, things will grow and it will flourish because the love is crazy. Look at, like, I'm here flourishing. Derek's like, we're flourishing off that love alone, off of that love alone. And that was because you made a choice within yourself to go and show love to someone, somewhere, anywhere. And that alone is powerful. And I just know that wherever you lot touch down, things will grow.
Wow.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Well, you started off now, Omar, so let me just chime in a little bit as well then. Yeah, no, I'm just basically here to thank you two, because you two are a big part of my journey. I thank Mama J every day, or every time anything happens, I thank Mama J, but I don't get to thank you guys as much because you guys were there at the beginning. You guys were the ones breaking my stereotypes of what I thought a person I could have a relationship with, a person I could love, or a person I could see on a level and see similarities in. Susan, you came in and I just thought, I'll put you in a box and a category straight away. Then you opened your mouth and that box got a little bit tighter with a few more labels on it. But then how you challenged me and made me look into myself, and I just took you on what you were, who you were in front of me, which is what I realized you had done for me from the very beginning. Like Wilson said, no labels, no, oh, this guy does this or he does that. It was just a person. And that allowed me to start my journey. And the same thing with you, Lily. Me thinking I know certain things and you lot just cluing me up and then breaking down the whole barriers again as to where it things. I remember one time we was talking, Susan, and we was talking about there was knife crime was kind of rife. And we were saying, yeah, a lot of people are dying, a lot of people were like, yeah, we need to do this and we need to do that. And Susan just said, no, you're coming from the wrong angle. That's all been done. You're coming from the wrong place. And I didn't know what she was talking about, but I just knew it had to be investigated. And what we were saying was content. And that was it. I just had to listen. And I still haven't got the answer, but I know that we was in the wrong place. And from we was in the wrong place, that's it. But yeah, Susan, Liliana, got so much respect and love for you lot. And yeah, I miss you guys. And yeah, like Omar said, anything you lot put that heart and dedication to is going to flourish. It's going to flourish. So, and you don't need to have no lived experience in it to show up as yourselves and the pure, beautiful spirits that you are. And yeah, it's going to be amazing. So I just wanted to say thank you both. Yeah.
Same as well. Thank you both, man. That is the main thing. Thank you both. Because it's like, why would you do that? Why would you come in prison and show love? Why? Who does that? Do you know what I mean? But for me, that's very special. So it's likewise, exactly what Derek said. Thank you both, man.
Well, as I'm sure you've heard us say many times, and and all of us say it, Lily, Lou, Jacqueline, say we had some of our best days ever in prison, which is a very, very odd sentence, I know, to most people. But we know what it was like in there. We know how deep those groups went. We know the love that was shared and how much we learned from each other. And, we're so privileged to have had that chance and that experience and to get to know you. And it's just, I love the way that, Omar, you said we're flourishing, and it's beautiful to see, and really, really happy for you. And that that Derek's opening conference, I've just heard that, and this is right. You guys should be the ones leading the way, and yeah, it's brilliant. It's brilliant.
Amazing. Yeah. It feels right. It feels natural. It feels like it's how it should be. The whole thing. It feels like how it should be. How it's meant to be, like level, and with the level of connection and love that we don't normally even think is possible, amongst people and you care for, and instead it's there, it pops up, and you kind of fall into it, and you're like, and it gives me goosebumps just to think about it now, you know. And I would say, you know, I would travel up in my little car, and it would be like, you know, a journey to get there, and then we would just be together and be in that space and connect so deeply and beautifully that I would glide home. I didn't even know I was driving. I didn't know how I got home because I was in that feeling, you know. That was like sometimes a 2-hour drive. Didn't even know how I got home. And it was always safely as well. And that's the great thing, because when you come from, you're in that feeling, you look after yourself. You know, you're not in danger. It's almost as if you've got this superpower and, you know, you avoid danger because you're aligned with that deeper, you know, wisdom and self that has your back. And then I would walk through the door with that feeling of love, and there was more love in my home with my sons and my husband, and it was the same love. It was the same love. And yes, that's it. It was the same love. No separation, no conditions, no, because it is, just goes on and on.
You feel so comfortable there. You feel so comfortable in group. I even, you know, used to drop off and have a little sleep.
She would always have a little sleep. It was a sign that she was
Little afternoon nap. It was like, you know, I was just comfortable, like in the living room. Without the telly, though. Yeah. Well, we were going to tell you why we were called the Big Simple, in case anyone can't guess.
We love
to talk about the name.
We could do a whole webinar on the name, couldn't we? Go on, Susan. You say.
What about you, Lou?
Well, yeah. I think this is Lily's favourite subject, isn't it? The name.
It
was just something you just said. You mentioned the word level, and it just reminded me of the beginning of the names that we came up to start with, and there was a definite trend that I kept coming up with these names that then Dominic Cummings was using for various Tory policies, which was admiring. So we had level up to start with, until one of my friends went, no, you can't have that. And then we had everyone in as well, which was the homelessness one. So
and then there was one that we picked that then got used for gambling, so that couldn't be. And
there were many we had a lot of fun choosing the name.
It wasn't something that just popped in. Like who said that about
Happier Now?
Oh yeah, Philip, you just said you got your name like that. Well, that was not us.
But we did eventually land, didn't we, on this name? And then I was blown away. I thought, oh my God, this is it. And it's like, it's obviously it's big and it's simple, but it's not just big, it's the big. It's like, you know, there's nothing bigger. So it's like all encompassing, and it's not just simple, it's the simple, the big simple. It can't get more simple and it can't get more big. So, you know, there's nowhere else to go if you want big and simple. And it's inclusive, it's all encompassing. And there's nowhere else to go for more simple. I might be getting a bit abstract here, so girls, come in with something a little bit more.
Well, I think for me it was deep. deep. Yeah, deep and profound, but simple. We'll use that word again. And they named it. I think Lou, did you come up with it first? And Lily loved it straight away. She thought it was cool because it was like the Big Lebowski, or they kind of, I can't think what else there was. And I was like, I don't know. It wasn't love at first hearing, or whatever that is. Not what's it was love at first ears or whatever. But I agree. I knew a bit. Yeah, I knew that there was something here, but it just took me time to kind of get behind it. But I think I really, really love it now, and it does. I mean, it sums up our work, doesn't it? Because it's incredibly profound, but incredibly simple. So it took a long time, but it does feel like it is the perfect name.
Yeah, oh no, you carry on.
No.
I remember we were because I think, Susan, you at first were a bit like simple, the connotations with the word simple, and we kind of played around with that. But for me, definitely simple is good. Simple is where I want to be. Simple is kind of it, the strictness, the simplicity, and but there's the sort of connotation of somebody being a bit simple, and that being maybe a negative thing. But I think, Lily, you said in Italian that's like a really positive thing. If somebody's simple, then they're kind of truthful or honest, or and I just love simple. I just love, I kind of try and simplify everything, really. And it was one of my sons who was at the time was saying the big everything was the big, this is the big, da, da, da. And I sort of said to him, does everybody say that, or is it just you? And he was like, no, it's just me. So I thought, okay, well, that's interesting. And just kind of went together. But yeah, I mean, is kind of the reference to, we don't need anything else. This is all we need. A big, like the girl said, it doesn't get bigger. It's so through everything, so profound, so huge, and yet so simple. So it's kind of, we had a lot of kind of discussions around it, and probably could talk about it for a very long time, but that's...
We'll spare you.
It kind of also, I mean, we all kind of been, the complexity of life can be so overwhelming, and we can see that now it's everywhere, and we do it to ourselves, it's in the world, and and we're actually saying that there is another place to look, and that is peaceful and big and simple. And that's where the answers are. So obviously, if people will be listening to this and they think, well, what is this about? But it's what we teach is that, and the best things sometimes we miss them because they're simple. And they're right there. So anyway, I wonder if we would love questions, and we would love to explore with any of you anything that might have occurred to you that you want to know, that you want to share.
We have a question from Gosia from earlier. And she says, what advice would you give me regarding starting something like groups, business in the community, but still working full time? How to find time to develop something with limited token? So if you have any word of, and I don't know if Gosia is able to unmute herself, if you can. If not, we'll you can just hear some beautiful wisdom here.
I'm just thinking that maybe someone like Caroline could answer that, because she was, and also Jacqueline, but of course, you know, you were full time. You had your state agency, and you were kind of looking in the direction of doing something in the community, and then you found yourself in it. And yeah, what do you say, Susan and Louise? That would be good, wouldn't it?
Mm.
Yeah, because Caroline, you were probably working full time when you started your thing. You're working very, very hard, and
balancing,
and yeah. So yeah, you go first, and then.
Thank you. I think mine accidentally happened because I was volunteering, because I'd been touched by it and just started having conversations with the guys on the street, like when I was in London and in Slough, and I kind of would finish up in Watford, I'd drive to Slough, and that part, and I love that. The organic, just letting it unfold, not trying to push it in any direction. I really loved that, because it was like Jacqueline just popped up out of nowhere. You, like Susan and Lily, popped up out of nowhere. Watford and Three Rivers popped out of nowhere. It's always been when I've got out of the way that the most incredible things have happened. But then it did get to a stage where it was like, okay, now if it's going to go further, then you need to get involved intellectually. And I remember I wasn't as brave as yourselves and Jacqueline to do the whole kind of charity structure, but lucky because Bob said we can be part of their charity. And I just remember signing, it was just an A4 bit of paper that I had to sign to say, yeah, we're in partnership and we've got the charity number. And I remember being on the phone to Lily going, that's it, it's clinical. I really don't like it. But, and I do still get caught up in that. And I'm sure Jacqueline will resonate as well. It's kind of there is the red tape, there is procedures, there is so much that needs doing. So all I would, I just follow your heart and your wisdom, like where would you want it to go? Like, I didn't go into doing this. Christ, I was in the estate agency for 28 years. I never went into this. Christ, if you'd said to me 6 years ago that this is where I'd be now, I would never have believed it. But it just got to such a point, and there was so much value, and it was just so rich that it was kind of like a no-brainer choice. So I would just maybe volunteer with someone, a demographic that you feel passionate about, and just let it unfold naturally. And when the time comes, like where you have to make that decision, do you want to take it further? Or just carry on doing what you're doing. Just let that wisdom guide you. You know, because there are hurdles that comes up, you know, as much as I love to sit in that really beautiful space and just let it unfold naturally, when it starts gaining momentum, there's a different part to it that starts unfolding as well, that you have to go down. And learn, like I've had to learn how to bid right, like write funding applications. I've had to learn about the charity sector. I've had to learn about risk assessments. There's a whole bag there of like intellectual stuff that I've had to get to grips with, you know, but we all have a choice. We can just sit in the space and enjoy what we're doing. And even if it's just, you know, and I never forget as well, and I remember having it both with Jacqueline. Jacqueline came down from rugby once when it was snowing. And there was another conversation I remember having with Lily going, but what if no one turns up? And you know what? It was just a case of, well, you know, even if one person turns up and they hear something, that's it. You know, so don't have any expectations, and don't ever underestimate the value of the conversation that you have as well. Because I've seen it, and I'm sure others have, that just that one conversation doesn't just only transform that life, it transforms their loved ones, their children, the people around them. There's such an invisible, powerful ripple effect and undercurrent to this. So don't ever underestimate that. But so yeah, I would just say, just go with the feeling. So yeah, Jacqueline, I'm going to pass over to you because your experience was a little bit different to mine, I think.
I think everything you've said is perfect and beautiful. There's nothing really to add. Nothing to add. You've got to go with. You find the time and you find the way if you love doing what you're doing. So you just got to keep doing that, is whatever shows up, and you'll see what the next steps are. Don't overthink it. Don't have too much expectations on it. The form for me looked different now than different now, certainly, but different, you know, it's constantly changing. So you just follow your heart, go where you want to go, and things take care of themselves. You see when it's time to leave your job, or you see when it's time to get a job, or you see when it's time to do more. So yeah, Caroline said it perfectly.
Thank you. Thanks for that. I think it's happening, but sometimes our mind takes us a little bit on a spiral, and we think we need to be doing more things. And I think I am on the right track from what you explained, and the fact that I'm thinking about developing some sort of, I don't know if it's a business or not, a group or something in my community or whatever. It just makes me happy every time that I do talk about it and I share it. So it makes me happy. So I'll carry on doing it. And it's just, I would love to see what's out there, but I know nobody knows. and I think that's the part of me that, and I think sometimes pressure of other people. So for example, I kind of invested in some money in some training and things like that. And now my husband is kind of at the back of my head saying to me, so where are you going to get something out of this? And I'm like, just leave me alone. I'm going to do what I think it's right. And just, but at the same time, like I'm at the stage where I feel like I need to either cut some hours down at my work and just spend at least one day around what I love doing a bit more. And I think that's the way forward. But yeah, it's that kind of I would like to have that knowing, like you guys talking about, and sometimes I don't have that, and I'm kind of searching, and I know I need to just wait for it to happen. Yeah, thank you.
And be open to what it might look like, because I didn't know I was going to work in prison or in groups. I didn't know any of the things that were going to happen to me. I mean, you know, you may end up doing a group at work. Who knows? You don't know. It's like you're with friends, or it's like just It's like sometimes you just sort of put out there, I want to do this, and then you wait and see what the universe sends you. But be present enough to notice when it does send it to you.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm in a perfect position, because I love what I do. It's just like I feel at the moment, I feel there's something else for me, and I am with people. I work with young people. I work with families. I am in the perfect position to use this understanding, and I have used it, and I can see the results in myself, and especially in myself. If I've changed, people around me changed, and they do and say things, miraculous things to me, and I'm so really surprised and think, oh my gosh, like really. So they see the difference, and they could see my love that I give to them. Not always, obviously. I'm sometimes in my head and I get frustrated with them, and I potentially sense that too. But and I am in the perfect position, and I think that because of my job, and like you just described, the things that happened to me, the reason why I'm doing that job also just happened. I was just in the right places, and I did courses, and I did this, and I had my daughter, and then I breastfed and something else, and it just took me to places that I've been, and I just applied for jobs and got them, and I was like, how this is happening to me? You know, that doesn't happen to me, but it has happened. So I sense that kind of what you tell me, what you say. I think what you're trying to say is, that's what I hear anyway, is that just let the universe take its toll. Whatever happens is going to happen, and it's going to be okay. But I think I'm sometimes kind of, because I'm desperate to do something else. I want to do it every day. I want to just talk about the understanding and life and things to people all the time. And the job that I do sometimes takes me away from it, because I have to do other things in my job that I don't particularly enjoy doing. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
So anybody has another question?
Philip. Oh no. Sorry. Yeah.
One of the things that we feel very important that is also coming to the series at the moment, which is that suddenly we're having like projects and groups and podcasts, so all new stuff that is going to come as you are the first ones really to come here after we really have, you know, Mama J talking about and that's Jacqueline Hollows talking about Beyond Recovery, and then but we have them individually, we have people individually talking about what they've done and how it happened. We haven't had groups like you are here today, and next week we're going to have Beyond Truth. Derek, Omar, and Chris, and
we've got Pete back as well.
Which is
Pete's gonna join us. Pete's gonna join us as well, so it's gonna be 4 of us.
Yay! Oh yeah. So what we feel, and we were at Philip, who is here, and Nicholas podcast, who they're in Sweden, and they started doing this just as friends. They like to talk so much about it, and they're gonna come on the next series, and one day they decided, well, just put a microphone and share what we're talking about, you know. And it was sort of one of the really first things in Swedish there is about people talking about the principles, and without even knowing, they just started something. And what we feel is that because it happened for us. There were for years, Gosia, honestly, I really understand your feeling, going, we want to do something, we want to do something. How do we do something? How do we start something? We don't know what to do. What's the target? So, and one day I woke up and I was like, it's going to be called How to Connect with Humans. We had the title. It wasn't like the big simple that, you know, it took some time to arrive. The title arrived sort of straight away without us knowing what was going to be. And I was like, oh, what is it? It's a talk with some people. Okay, yeah, it's a talk with Chip and Jan if they are willing to take the risk to talk with us in public. Okay, that's what it's going to be. And then it was just, let's ask Deacon, and then let's ask this and let's that. And everybody pretty much, we had a few no's. It's not that everybody just jumped, you know, and said, oh yes. We had no's, and we still have no's. And some people even said no, and then 3 series later were like, I didn't realize what you said you were going to do. So no, yes. So, you know, don't take no's. Don't, you know, of course, respect people that say no, please. But what I'm saying is that just if you have a feeling that you want to do something, that's what they were saying. And when we have here we have Jetil Helmer, he said he asked Chantal Burns about how to run the business. He was really worried about the business. The business was the thing. And Chantal said, well, love is what is going to sort out the business, your life. Love is the answer. And it sounds a bit groovy, but you know, it's that when you sit in the feeling, it's not in our timeline. It doesn't happen when we want it. We don't know what it is. But as here, like you all said, just be ready. When that comes along and you suddenly know, just be ready. And one of the things that did it for me, and I think for us, was that we gave up. We gave up on thinking we had to do something really important and demonstrate to our families, to ourselves, that all the money we invested in courses and things and whatever was for something. Well, it was for us. It gave us a new life. It gave us new relationships. It gave us a relationship between us we never thought it could be possible. So there's no price for that. That's it. That was money well invested. Like I would pay that 6 times again, more. And then when we gave up on the very good, important thing we had to do, then simplicity, the big simple, came in. It was just a simple talk with friends in a living room, and that's what got wings. So now this is part also of what we do this, why we do this series, and why we want people to hear. And then we're going to have closing this series. We're going to have Rob from 3PGC talking about how he started the podcast for 3PGC, and now that is going to take into other languages. And so we can't be talking about this understanding in English. It's big. It's too big and too simple. but it needs to be simply said in many languages. I can see Liliana there like laughing.
Well, I wouldn't know how to speak about this in Polish. I mean, I have been saying things to like my brother and things like that. And we were talking about this. He's been talking about something else, and I've been talking about something else, and we both heard something, and we were like agreeing to each other. So it's possible, I think, but yeah, I wouldn't attempt to try to explain things. Well, I am, I think, in Polish, but yeah, thank you. That's really helpful.
Can I just ask, did Anthony have a question? Because I saw his hand up some time ago, but it's gone down now, so maybe you don't have one.
No, hello.
Hello.
I just wanted to express gratitude to you guys, really. I had a situation the last couple of days where I was dealing with somebody very much in similar mindset or probably a worse mindset to where I was when I first met you guys. And instead of getting caught up in it and buying into it, I was really able to offer support from bearing in mind the kind of where I work and the fact that there are very, very big rules about not being a counsellor. So sticking with the procedures that I have to deal with at work. But it just reminded me how life was when I first met you guys. And strangely, a situation like that just helped me to multiply the gratitude that I have to you guys for the journey that I have been on since I met you all, and wish you huge amounts of luck with what sounds like an amazing project. And if I can be of any support from afar, then you have my number. And that's all I wanted to say.
That's lovely.
Glad we heard from you. That was, thank you. That was lovely.
Lovely, beautiful. Yes, it's are the side effects of this whole kind of thing that we do. We fall in love with people, and people fall in love with us. How cool is that? Yes, it's like that's a hell of a side effect. I've signed up for it years ago. Remaining signed up. I renew my membership daily.
You know what? If I could just come in there, I think the name, it just screams everything to me, because that's everything I've ever learned. It's just every day I'm amazed by how simple things are, and then when you just put it like that, the big simple, it just ties into as something new that you learn, or as a bit of you's uncovered, you just realize how big it is and how simple it is, and those two words just go together, because it is just comes down to we try to work it out because it's so complicated. There must be a complicated answer, but no, it's just a big simple. It's just one. Yeah, I love it. And you can come up with all these reasons why you come up with the name or why you didn't come up with, but that name just came to you, and that's the perfect name. So it doesn't have to have a reason why you picked it, but yeah, it screams at me. And Anthony, I don't know Anthony's relationship with you lot, but I know Anthony's relationship with you lot, because I felt that same love, and I know what Anthony's talking about. That's how I know this is real, because yeah, I've never met the fella, but I know exactly what he's feeling. So, and just go back. Sorry, Lou, I got a bit excited. I never say hello to you before. I'm so sorry. And Caroline as well. We miss you all. We miss you all. Yeah, and we'll be seeing you again soon. But yeah, this thing here, I signed up. They didn't tell me what I was signing up for, but I signed up. But it's great what I signed up for, because it's a lifetime feeling.
Yeah, gorgeous. I mean,
See the good thing to it,
I can't tell you how happy we are that you are in our lives, and you have been, and you are, and you're around. It feels like perfect, you know, can't get any better. That, you know, this whole thing is rich with people. Yeah, it's rich with people that have love, you know, that come from love. And so that's true for all of you. Yeah. And Carolina and everyone. It's, yeah, and Philip and everyone else on this call. And
no, I mean, it's what an amazing launch. I mean, like, in the sense that this is everything to us. This is everything to us. This is what matters. This is like, and also I've got that thing that I used to get when I was in prison. It's like I got this ache in my jaw from smiling so much. I'm gonna have to get really grumpy later just to release the jaw.
Oh, gorgeous. Yeah.
Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you, Carolina and Wayne, for hosting us. Thank you all for coming. And so much.
Thank you.
All of you. Ian, Debbie. Thank you for coming, Debbie.
Ian, yes. Yes.
Ian. Hey.
Hey, Money Penny. Oh, Money Penny. How you doing, Debbie? You all right, yeah?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. You?
I'm good, you know, Debbie. Better for seeing your face. Better for seeing your face.
Such a smooth talker, Derek.
Well,
it's the launch. It's official.
It's official. And you can find us. You can find us on Facebook now.
So where can people find you?
I think you can anyway. I was setting it up. I have and on Instagram as well, The Big Simple, and on LinkedIn as well. So
the website.
Yeah, and the website.
Right, yeah.
TheBigSimple.org.
So TheBigSimple.org is the website. Guys, also Philip and I don't know, I always offer things. I don't know if people are happy with this, but Philip and Nicholas are also in IT. So say if we, you know, just simple things as maybe to see if the website looks like what you were intending it to look like. Or this is what I think is great, is that we have the same thing, is that when we had an idea, you guys came and say yes and helped us and came and were super happy to be our guests, and we wouldn't have had a series, not one, if you know, if you haven't come and talked, and you're still doing that for us. So what I'm saying is we sometimes think we're doing something to help others, and we do, but then soon enough is the people that are there that start helping us and being the absolute soul of what we do. So like now we have this big family that keeps, you know, expanding. So so thank you so much for launching here. And so The Big Simple, it's on Facebook, it's on Instagram. We're going to put all the links. And if you have anything that you think can help, Louise, Susan, and Liliana, if you have any ideas, maybe you are working with an institution, maybe it doesn't matter where you are, contact them, see what can happen, because as we say, we don't know where things are going to go. We don't know. You have an idea, just contact them, contact us. We will all find where it can go. So thank you so much for your time, and it's an absolute honor. We are here for you. So please keep coming to tell us how's it going. And you know, many of the people that are in this call will be coming in our next series.
Yep.
But next week we're having a party. It's going to be neon and zebras, and you know, I got my nails done just for that. Not really, but you know, just whatever. So Omar is putting on a wig, and Derek is I don't know, just up as a giraffe.
There we go.
So guys, tell us who is coming next week. Oh, look at that! Look at Derek. Derek, say something so we can see you. You're muted. Oh, you're muted. There.
How does that look?
Oh, that's good.
Amazing.
So it's a party, guys. We're gonna have a party. So who are coming? What is it about? Tell us.
So it's gonna be. Can you hear me, Will?
Yeah.
It's gonna be myself, Derek, Chris, and 3P Pete. And what we're gonna talk about is a secret. So you have to be there to know. That's what I'm gonna leave you with, and I'll see you next week.
Yes.
It's gonna be the secret. We'll put a question mark.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. Please contact us also if you have something that you really want to share, and you have a project you want help, you want to get a bit unstuck. We'll point you to other people, we'll help you. We're here for that as well. Lily, Louise, Sue, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all.
It's a great evening. Look forward to the party next week.
Yay.
Bring your fancy dress, everybody. Bring your fancy dress.
Bye.
I'll see you.
All right then. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Hey.